Hello, hello, hello. If everyone, if possible, could take a seat, get comfortable. Before we go on to give you who your first round winners are, we have got the wonderful Sam Larson Disney, who is going to take you through some of the fun stuff that happened on the scavenger hunt.
Hello, hello. Welcome back. This is going to be an exercise in the stupid stuff I can make you all do if I just give you an A4 piece of paper with instructions on it. So basically what I wanted to do is just kind of give a little highlight in the stats. So we had 20 teams do it, which is crazy. I think it's about 100 people were involved in the scavenger hunt, and there were over 200 task completions during this time, which meant that I had to mark a task every single 20 seconds. Absolute nightmare. And because of that, this is kind of how I looked by the end. And I finished the slide deck at like 3 in the morning because so many people were asking for my help during the day as well. So I wish I could show everything, but I really can't. So I've kind of tried to pick just a few of the highlights out. So let's get started. So as many of you all know, I asked you to recreate paintings, and we had some wonderful submissions. We had some still lifes, which I thought this was great. More still lifes. It's like a poor man's version, I think, you know. This is the only team that submitted one thing, and it was just this. I hope their hackathon project's really good. Yeah, oh yeah, we had multiples of the same as well. And then I was really impressed with this. I actually thought you really nailed the smile. It's actually really good, really, really good. And then there were also some album covers that you might recognize. Bit of Queen. I like this one, Oasis, love it. And then Spice Girls as well. Yeah. And then Bob Dylan. There was a counterfeit on the page, and some of you said the word counterfeit was the counterfeit, and I gave you the points anyway because I was feeling a bit nice, but that wasn't the real counterfeit. What I'd done is I'd taken the Athena logo and I'd swapped around the tagline at the bottom. For those who hadn't caught that. A little bit sneaky, I know, I'm sorry. This is by far my favorite bit. So, for those who weren't involved, I got each team to submit 5 2-second videos that when mushed together would turn into some kind of story. Some of them had titles, some of them didn't. The ones that didn't have titles, I took it upon myself to give them titles. I've put them into a movie, and then at the end, what I've done is I've put the Rocky bit. I asked you all to do like little snippets of Rocky as well. So we're going to run through that now. Yeah, so you guys were a bit violent in this as well. Cool, here you go. Sound, maybe? You got some? Okay. Cool. I thought that was great. Well done. Well done. We asked you to get off dry land. Most of you used the fence downstairs. There was one entry that I thought was quite amusing. So this team, I don't know if you can read that, but it says water on it. Can't argue with that. Then there was some little like code breakers. A lot of you got this. It was walk backwards. But some of you just submitted walk backwards, but actually it's an action, right? I wanted you to submit the action of walking backwards so that I could laugh at you all. Whoa. What happened there? Oh no, Keynote actually exploded. I apologize. Well, there you go, see? Okay, let's try again. I don't want to show you hang on, I've got to be careful here. Let's just go from here. There we go, look at that. Beautiful. This one, high five Sam. I was sat down the front the whole time. There you go. Morse code, hide in plain sight. I love this one too. So some people do stuff like this. This one, you probably can't see it, but luckily I've done that for you. All right? And then I asked you to bring back the balloon in the same state I gave it to you. Most of you blew it up and then gave it back to me blown up. Obviously, I wanted it back in its floppy state. So yeah, there you go. And so now I'm going to announce the winner, but I'm going to ask the winners to stay where they are and come see me afterwards for the prize, because I'm not done yet. It gives me great pleasure to announce that the winner is Team Clueless. They got 95 points. Great job. Cool. Well done. You all did amazing. And thank you for getting so involved. I hope you had a good time. Obviously, now you're probably all feeling a bit like this. But what I want to do just quickly is talk about next steps, right? So I want to talk about post-hackathon activities. No matter how this ends, there's a whole load of stuff that you can do based off what you've done here this weekend. Right? First one is catch up on some sleep, right? I would really encourage you to go home and have an early night tonight so that you can start your day job on Monday if you have one, wide awake. Secondly, thank your teammates or anyone who's helped you that you feel like you've got something out of. Say thank you. It can mean a lot. Go on LinkedIn, share your project, help Showcode out. I love seeing them. Please add me to your network. I'll reply, comment, feedback, all that stuff. I'd love to be involved. And then obviously get it on your portfolio as quickly as humanly possible. Hackathons are a great way for students to get stuff out into the world really, really fast. I encourage you to harness that and go crazy. Regardless of the verdict, you've all done awesome, right? I have heard from the judges already that it was incredibly tight, that there are some really, really, really awesome projects. So don't feel too disheartened if you don't take the top prize, and get feedback. The judges are probably going to hate me for that. But if you've been involved, like from your teammates, from your peers, from me, whoever it is, get feedback if you want it, right? We're here to give that to you. I think it's only fair. You've spent 24 hours doing something. It takes me 5 minutes to give you feedback, so I should do it. Cool. That's pretty much me. So hackathonsurvivalguide.com if you want more stuff like this. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Sam, and I hope you all had a lot of fun taking part in the scavenger hunt. I know a lot of you told me you did when I was coming around and chatting to you all yesterday and this morning. So before we move on to our first round winners, there are chances, even if you don't land in the top first round, to still win some cool prizes. So by the end of today, for anyone who has shared anything on their social media, we're going to be picking one person at random to win a £50 voucher. So feel free to share, as Sam said, your project, your pictures, anything about it, and tag us with the hashtag Athena Hack 23, and we'll be picking one person at random, and you'll win £50. There is also going to be a profile update competition. So all of you by now should have created your show code account. And it's really important. The biggest part of show code working for you is making sure that your profile and portfolio is updated. So there should be some time while other people are pitching, getting ready, while you're hanging around. If you take 10 minutes to update your profile, one of our team is going to pick their favorite profile update of today, and we're going to give out another £50 voucher. It's as simple as that. It won't take you too long. So before we move on, I want to say from the show code team, from myself, from everyone who's been involved in our partners, a massive thank you. The quality of submissions, the collaboration that's been taken place all weekend, and just kind of the kindness, the love, the sharing, the way you guys have been has been inspiring, and I feel very privileged to have been a part of this. So thank you from show code, thank you from myself for taking part, and we will now move on to our first round winners. Guys, it was so hard. Why you all gotta be so good? I wish more men saw stuff like this, because it's just, they need to see. You guys are incredible, man. Oh. So, I'm gonna start off with show code. We was gonna do a certain number of winners, but it was so difficult. So bear with me whilst I read out who we have decided to take through to the final round. Our first person, our first team, our first project, in no particular order, always got to say that from, remember TV back in the 90s, no particular order your winners are. We have Career Quest. So Career Quest are a brand new recruitment platform that gamifies the journey for everyone to make it fair and efficient. We then have Love is Blind, Work Edition. A revolutionary way of recruiting without bias. And lastly, we have Talent Tap. A mobile application that is a LinkedIn of hybrid of LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and Tinder that will change the game, putting the power back in a candidate's hands. So thank you for all of those submissions, particularly on behalf of Show Code. We thought that was really, really cool, and we can't wait to see you guys pitch us in a little bit. Moving on to the second theme, which was code nodes. So the group that produced this project worked really, really hard, and I had the luxury of spending some time with them, and I'm really excited to announce that EcoNode, a collaboration framework and dashboard, has been taken through to the next stage. And lastly, our third and final theme with our main partner for this weekend, Cisco. I can tell you, the Cisco team had a bloody hard time figuring out this one. And I didn't envy them at all, because I thought we had a hard job at Show Code, but they were stressed. I don't know if you see it. They had to leave their room. You were all watching them like goldfish in a glass bowl because of the windows. They were it was, right, we've got to leave. We've got to go deliberate in the corridor. Giving them a hard time. So come back and give them a hard time next time, please, because it was great to watch. It's exactly why we bring incredible partners along. So the first team project going through to the next round is Aura. Finding safe, trusted spaces that meet your accessibility needs. The next group is Silver. A telephone voice assistant for tech support. Next, we have Freewheeling. Safely planning wheelchair and mobility-friendly journeys. And lastly, we have Communitix. Which is all about social inclusion for refugees. So what happens next is all of those teams have half an hour to get ready. I would like you to take 15 minutes to go away and talk about your pitch. You should be ready. I've seen all of them. I know you're all ready. Trust me. Have a chat about what it is you want to do and how you want to present. And then come and meet us in 15 minutes over at the tech stand so we can make sure we've got all of your needs. For everyone else, please stick around, support your fellow women in tech. Cheer them on, support them, help them, go and ask what it is they need, and stick around to find out who will win. If you have any questions, come over and ask me. Speak to you all in a bit. apologies. One thing I got to say to the teams on going through to the next round, you will be given 10 minutes, 5 minutes to pitch, and 5 minutes for question and answers from the judges. Hello, hello, hello. So if everyone could take their seat and get settled, I hope all of our teams are ready to present, feeling good, feeling calm, feeling ready. That's all good. So if everyone could take a seat for me, or if you're in your teams and want to just stand to the side, that would be super, super helpful. So I just need to say it again, the quality of presentations, projects, work has been absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait for all of you to see all of these presentations because they are incredible. I want to start by introducing our wonderful panel of judges. I'll let them introduce themselves and I'll hand over to Jess.
Hello. Oh, there we go. Hi, everyone. Well, if you don't know me already, which by now I thought you may do, but I'm Jess. I'm sales lead at Showcode. Just for those who are going to be up on stage, I come from a commercial background, so I want to know how you're commercialising your projects. So that's what I'm quite interested in. So I'll hand over to Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. You should know me too. Software engineer, author of Hackathon Survivor Guide. I'm looking for creativity mostly. That's what I'm looking for.
Hello, I'm Emma. I'm a senior software engineer at Bloomberg, specializing in front end. I really like looking at nice UIs, so I'm interested to see the different UIs.
Hi, I'm Karen, CEO of Black Girls in Tech. I'm really interested in the UI as well, but I'm also looking for the teamwork and how you guys actually worked within your teams. That's what I'm looking for.
Thank you so much to our wonderful judges. And be kind to them, guys. We ain't got no Simon Cowells in the room, I tell you. So, just to reiterate how it's going to work, each team will have 10 minutes. They will have 5 minutes to present, and then they will have 5 minutes where they will be asked questions by the judges. Ooh. But this is about having fun, right? So remember, smile. And for those of you in the audience, smile at the people presenting because they're also worried and nervous. Cheer them on, clap them when they think they've done something good. Give them a nice little whoop whoop, and have an incredible time. So we're going to go through each theme and invite all of our projects up one by one to present. And they're going to be brought up in no particular order. We're going to start with the show code theme. And the team that is starting us off is Talent Tap.
Just so everyone knows, so for the judges, the Showcode theme was help us revolutionise tech hiring to make it a more fair, diverse and efficient process.
Oh, it has sound. Hi everyone, we are Team Hack Her with Talent Tap. I'm Ellie.
I'm Kira.
Neoma.
Jaya.
Elena.
And the question that we were trying to solve today with our app was help us revolutionize tech hiring to make it more fair, diverse, and efficient in its process. So I'm actually a recruiter right now. I'm sure that we have all been either candidates or recruiters in our time, mostly candidates, I'm sure. But recruitment, I think we can all agree, is a really tricky process for both candidate and company. Company culture, values, and inclusive policies are more and more important to today's graduate and entry-level job market. However, in the noise of all the other apps, it's really tricky for candidates to get accurate information on the topics that are super important to them. Similarly, it's difficult for hiring companies to identify candidates that are genuinely aligned with their values and are therefore more likely to stay longer term. As a candidate, how can you understand which companies genuinely share your values on important points? And as a hiring company, how can you understand whether entry-level candidates are interested in your company, and if they're not, what you can do to improve this? So I think we all know, based on the reason that we're all here, that diversity in UK tech is pretty abysmal. And while it's predicted to grow 6 times by 2025, by that time there will only be 1 qualified woman for every 115 roles. So where Talent Tap comes in and helps to solve this problem is by putting power back into the hands of candidates. It also, in a very powerful way, gives companies data on how to improve, as well as what is important to attract and retain diverse talent to their business.
So our proposed solution is a mobile application that is basically combines LinkedIn, Glassdoor and Tinder. It's tailored for graduates and people seeking entry-level role tech jobs based on inclusion, diversity and equality. And we're revolutionising tech hiring by putting the power in the candidate's hands at the initial phase of the recruitment. We're making it fair by only catering towards graduate or entry-level candidates at the moment in this space, so they can stand out against experienced candidates. We're making it diverse by comparing companies' diversity, equality and inclusion values, and it creates an immediate first impression as to if the candidate is the correct fit. And we're making it more efficient by most large companies recruit a large number of graduate or entry-level roles per year, many with no tech background, so this is making it more personal towards the candidate.
The onus is on the company with our app. Users are able to swipe through, similar to Tinder, and like or super like jobs that align with their values. The user doesn't have to worry about keeping up with everybody on LinkedIn, posting and being visible. It's just the potential candidate and the company. We also have an anonymization feature which further reduces bias that companies have when choosing talent. Companies can also access a metrics page based on user insights, and we've gamified it so that companies can earn badges based on their values and commitments to diversity and inclusion. Users can see company-related news based on diversity and inclusion, milestones, data transparency, and badges that we award. We've included some use cases, but for the sake of time, we'll move on to existing solutions.
We've researched many existing solutions such as Indeed, LinkedIn, and Otter. But what makes Talent Tap stand out is the fact that we focused on hiring based on company culture and also inclusion, diversity, and equality. And this is supported by genuine employee testimonials. I know pay and being an important, well-known company is important, but also company values and whether your values actually align with them is really important. Because do you really want to be in a company that isn't there to support you at your lowest? We also intend to support the app with accessibility features.
So in terms of the main flow, the user will log into the application and see organizations that align with their interests and values. If they swipe right, then they receive push notifications and get put in a shortlist to see the roles and more about the organization they're interested in. In terms of the tech implementation, we want to build this application using React Native because it can cater to Apple and Android phones, as well as use a Node.js backend because we are experts in JavaScript. So in the future, what are we looking at for the potential? So we want to use blockchain and convert those badges into NFTs so that they can be viewed on the Kudos platform. We also want to use zero knowledge proof. So for example, employees might have data on the diversity, so we don't need to understand every employee's background. We can prove that they are diverse. Tap into Talent Tap, tap into your potential. Any questions?
Well done, guys. So a question from myself is just to understand a bit more about how would you make money out of this? Who's going to be paying what? And yeah, just a little bit of understanding on that side.
So the candidate it's free for a candidate to join, but we make money through the companies that join the app. So you have to pay as a company to advertise there, but also to see the metrics and find out, if how diverse you are, find out what feedback the candidates are giving you and stuff like that. That would be the company has to pay for that.
Cool. So like a company's return on investment is just understanding their business.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think as well in terms of the recruitment process, it's obviously really expensive to get an external recruiter. And maybe one thing that we didn't kind of touch on too much was when you do swipe right, the kind of companies are added into a favorites list. And then when that company posts jobs that are kind of at your level, you can apply for that job directly through their website, through a push notification or through an email. So it saves money on the company side through kind of directing people to their website for job opportunities.
I would also like to touch on when you swipe left, the user can provide feedback. So the candidate can give feedback on whether they need to be more inclusive or provide more hybrid options, and then the metrics will show that.
I have a question. So the badges and stuff that companies can get given, who's awarding those badges, or like who's verifying or monitoring that that's actually true? Because obviously any company could just say, we're really good at this, and then you find out they're actually not.
I'll take this one. I think eventually we'd want to use kind of NFTs to make sure that it was kind of as verified as possible. At the moment, there are some consistent ways to understand diversity and inclusion metrics, mostly through, I think, like governing bodies and professional websites, like The Guardian, and might do a survey on that. So that's what we would use for the meantime. But obviously, I think in the future we'd like to make it more verified.
I'd like to add to that, so the zero knowledge proof thing, as blockchain technology has improved, there's a real good concept that I can prove whether I have 30% of women in my workforce. And if I can prove that using mathematics, then I can award a badge and know that that is true and valid.
I can go. Hardest challenge faced this weekend when building this out?
I think for me, we had a lot of ideas at the beginning. You can probably tell by our PowerPoint there was a lot of kind of different things, but I think consolidating it and kind of obviously 24 hours is not a long time, so really trying to consolidate what was most important and what was differentiating this app from other ones out there was probably the biggest challenge for us.
I agree as well. I was just going to say as well, so obviously me, Naoma, Jaya and Elena were already in the tech industry at the moment. However, Ellie is coming from recruitment, so I think maybe there was Ellie might have found it difficult trying to combine with both of us, but actually we've gelled really, really well as a team, and having Ellie's recruitment experience as well has really benefited us, I think, because we don't really know what the process is like, and having someone that's in the industry already, I think, has definitely helped.
So I want you all to give a massive round of applause to the Talent Tap team.
Thank you.
So next up, we have the Love is Blind Work Edition team.
Testing. Hi, my name is Rebecca.
Sharon, Zara,
Ananya, Denise.
Okay, so we're going to start off with a question. I would like you to raise your hand if you can recall at some point in your career so far if you've been ghosted by an employer that you applied to. Okay, we've all met some cheeky employers. Okay, now I'd like you to think, can you recall a time when you've applied for a role and you felt that you were really a good fit, but you didn't feel that the employer actually saw you? Okay, and this is where our revolutionary idea of love is blind, but the work edition comes in.
So I've been there. I've been a recruiter. So it's really easy that we fall into this bias of when we look at CVs, we're like, oh, it's Harvard graduate, great, go have a look at this role. But honestly, it's unconsciously built in us. So here's some stats to show you why. So actually, nearly half of us will not hire a transgender person. We wouldn't even consider it. And equally, 50% women will not be considered for a STEM job. Sorry. Yeah.
and this is where Will You Be My Match comes in. So this is a revolutionary new tool for recruiting that masks your employment history, your education history, your background to reduce unconscious bias.
Now, how do we do this? So we have two users, the company and the candidate. Now, the initial process is the same. You create a profile, we verify the profile because we don't want anyone to be scammed, and then each of the users gets matched profiles. Now, let's say we initiate connection. Now, they have 7 days for the either parties to accept the connection. Otherwise, we're going to terminate the connection because we don't want anybody falling over unrequited love. And after that, they can move on with new matches. Now, let's say they liked the match. Wow, you got yourself a first date. That's your first assessment. And once you complete it, you know what? Your first date is done, and we are out. Rest is up to you guys.
Right, so we'll go through some UI here.
Yeah.
So we'll just, because of time, we'll just do the company side of it, like how the company will feel if they use us. So this is the first page where they'll fill all the details. We have their preferences that we will use to like calculate the bias index scores that we have come up with, like the 3, which I'll go in the next slide. So yeah, so this is like the company's landing page once they have like made their profile and stuff. The first is diversity index. So we asked the company in previous like steps how many like employees they have and how many like which background and everything. So like calculate that for ourselves so that we know that they're not lying about it. Then we have blind score. So blind score is something like, as Sharon mentioned, we will give you the matches and then, but you're like, oh, I'm not sure about the candidate because you don't see much stuff except for the projects and what I have already done. So they'll ask for the question like, okay, they'll have an option if they want to know more about it. The more question they ask, the more score they'll get down. So that's how you know how much, you know, when company says, oh, we do so much, so like we're not biased and stuff, but here they'll actually be like accountable for like, no, you're asking question, that's not right. That. And then responsive score is another one. Like it's, again, we can't make like mandatory for them to come back to you, but if they don't come back within like certain time, then they'll be like, okay, your score is going down. So yeah, and then this is like how you will, they like the matches, like it'll just be the candidate number and like what is it, then like the projects, if you click on that candidate person, then you have, oh, he has done this project, this technologies that I use, hobbies and fun facts, just to make sure that they are not the human, not robot. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the same goes to the candidate, but yeah.
Sounds business model. Yeah, let's just go. Keep going. Keep going. Business model. Should we just do the business model.
So what we built our app on is machine learning. It's everywhere nowadays, and it's here too. So the machine learning will create the match and it will be supervised, so it will take feedback from if the company is like their match, if they haven't, and that's how it will learn to give you better matches. How good. And also in the assessment part, ChatGPT API will create a prompt that is specific to the company that will give you an insight into what the company does.
Okay, in the interest of time, just put it like this, okay? You have access to many matches, okay? So the journey is not over for you if one match doesn't work. And in the interest of fairness and diversity, wow, and diversity, I mean, do you mark me down if I continue like for 30 seconds more? I didn't even get a chance to land. Okay, thank you for having us.
Well done, guys. Yeah, no, really great presentation. I suppose, yeah, similar question to I had to the last team, just to understand a bit more around, is it the companies that are going to be paying for this? Do you pay for a profile?
So for the business model, our plan is it'll be free trial for companies, so you get 100 profiles per month. So it's just get a buy-in for them to try the software. And if they like it, they can upgrade to 250 profiles a month with a bit of money. And then eventually it'll be a yearly subscription with unlimited profiles.
Okay, cool. I like that, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just curious to understand what would the post-match look like? So would they be able to, like, how would they, yeah, what's that?
So I think we are mainly focused on the skills, not like, so we can't help it, right? The unbiased thing, like it's just unconscious. We see a company, we're like, wow, that's so good. Even if we don't like the role, we're just gonna go for it. And the same with the recruiters to the candidates, right? We see that they've studied in some prestigious universities, they work in great places, but what about the others who have the same skills, probably is better, but they just didn't get a chance? So we are mainly filtering this upon the skills. So just they can see how diverse or whatever, like what all like diversity indexes they want to cover up. We're gonna give them a match from that. You have something to add?
Yeah, we also kind of take the stance that you're both adults. You can both work it out.
Also, are you, thank you. So when you ask that question, are you talking about, okay, what is the final end, or like, okay, so eventually once a person has reacted to the assessment that's sent and they've responded, the employer will click contact or not, okay? If they click contact at that point, we have our background logic that will surface the details of the person. Ultimately, it is up to you who you do choose, but what we're saying is that we're altering the pool. We're unveiling the talent that you would have overlooked unconsciously, some people consciously, but mostly unconsciously, okay? And that's what it's about. Okay, it's making sure that everybody has a fair chance. And actually, it's not just about the employers and their match, but it's your match too, because you fill in what you want, the mission statement, okay, the characteristics, how diverse is it, because we have an index for that too.
Just a follow-up question. Is this just going to be for web, or is it going to be a mobile app as well?
So on the front-end interface, it's app, it's mobile app, it is tablet, it's also on laptops too, because it's a web app and you access the web on all these different devices.
I'm the buzzword police. You use the word machine learning, and I just wanted to ask what exactly you're going to use machine learning for.
The match, surprisingly. But yeah, so we'll take the feedback from the employer. So did they like the match? Did they not? So that'll be kind of the supervised part of it. But we talked about diversity. So the company can choose. They really need people from underprivileged backgrounds. They maybe need people from other other places. So they can turn that on in their preferences, and this will be part of the algorithm that their matches will have a higher chance of being with these preferences to increase our diversity within the company. So that's, again, part of our selling point of the match, that it'll be what the company wants.
As well.
Also, as we scale up, we're thinking about making is it unsupervised? Yeah, an unsupervised algorithm that basically you have the option to predict, okay, as we learn about our companies and we learn about our candidates.
Yeah, one last question is just around the verification of people coming onto the platform. Like, how are you looking to do that at scale?
Yeah, well, we have that. So we've got verification documents that the company can upload to verify them. And on terms of the candidate side, ID. And we can, they'll also take a photo of themselves and the ID to verify that it matches.
Thank you.
A massive thank you to the Love is Blind team. And lastly, for the show code theme, we have Career Quest.
Thank you. This is Career Quest. Level up your tech career with our gamified, AI-powered platform. We are Team Career Changes. I'm Trina.
I'm Kay. I'm Shen. So first of all, I will ask everybody one question. Do you know how many days one tech recruiter they spend on finding a right candidate? So the research shows actually every team they spend like 3 months to find the right candidate, which is very time consuming for both of sides, right? So another thing is, 1/3 of UK developers they believe that tech recruiting process are fair and unbiased, and only 1/4 of women working in tech industry in 2022. So we think that tech hiring, they need some change. Both of them, they need more efficiency, more fair, and most important thing is more diverse. So what do we do that?
Here's a persona, Fua, who's a recent graduate from computer science and doesn't like to apply to jobs on platforms like LinkedIn or Workday due to them being too formal and complicated. And she's feeling very disheartened by all the rejections and late replies she's getting to her applications. She's also very worried about not having enough skills to apply for jobs and that she's not matching the job descriptions perfectly.
So clearly we have tons of problems we need to address here. We've got inefficient recruitment processes, we've got lack of diversity in the talent pool, and we have a perception of unfair tech hiring practices, perhaps due to candidates experiencing discriminatory hiring processes in the past. So we managed to talk to a recruiter in early career about his pain points, and he says early career candidates don't use LinkedIn. And he only has 10 to 15 seconds to eyeball every CV using a rigid CV keyword matching process. And he even asked me, do we need to start using social media such as TikTok, Instagram? We want to give candidates a fighting chance here at Career Quest. People like us might be stuck in tutorial hell. Your CV keywords might not be matching to the recruiter's ATS system, meaning you don't look as qualified as you actually are. And you might also have potential accessibility issues. Our solution is Career Quest. We've got diverse user-generated content, AI-powered CV screening, and practical skill-building quests. And this is all on one gamified professional networking platform. Over to you, Kate. Oh, actually, we want to take you through today our user journey for recruitment. Take it away.
So this is the homepage to our app for the candidates, where you have feeds for more tech information, accessibility options, as well as a link directly to the jobs. For jobs, you can save jobs, skip jobs, and then go check your saved jobs. So the app will actually match you according to compatibility, and then you have a percentage for match, which if it's high, it can push you to give you the confidence to apply to the job.
in case you weren't sure, since you don't match the description perfectly, you can apply through Quick Apply or message the recruiter, book a time for a chat. And for those of you who are a bit scared to like message a recruiter, AI will do it for you to help keep things moving forward. Your CV will be uploaded with a masking function that covers your personal details for blind hiring. And then calls are done in-app. And then afterwards, you can see the profile of your recruiter and the company details and everything. There's also quests, which are created by hiring companies, which are based on all the technical interviews, take-home challenges, and everything. So you can practice, you can show off how you solve problems, how you work. And finally, here's your portfolio, which, well, it's your profile, but you can use it as a portfolio by uploading content regarding what you do.
Amazing demo, Kay. Thanks to our recruiter as well. CareerQuest has your back in the tech hiring process. We have a dedicated portal for recruiters to streamline the interview process. We've got AI-powered screening processes that not only uses a candidate's CV, but also their entire profile on CareerQuest. We've implemented blind hiring, which masks name, age, educational institutions, as well as gender. You take a look at our dedicated recruiter profile with all the CVs and the match rate. We've got our quests, which users complete by creating content by video, audio, and image. It becomes a second portfolio quite organically for recruiters to discover. And it improves communication and presenting skills of our candidates as well. We use smart matching algorithms to assess candidates' compatibility with job descriptions. We want to empower all users to access our content, so we adhere to current accessibility standards. We have closed caption, text, speech, and language. Thanks so much, everyone. Level up with CareerQuest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Did they bully you to do that?
You know, they came to me at 2 in the morning and said, hey, can we just record you saying hello? And I was like, what? Now I understand why, and I thought it was really good. So thank you. Thanks for my involvement.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
I find the feed for the candidates interesting. So I'm just thinking from a recruiter's perspective. Respectfully, I'm trying to just understand their skills. So how do I kind of navigate like all the extra stuff that I may not want to see? So how can, because that could be like very off-putting to people who are just quickly trying to find some candidates. How would you kind of navigate that?
Sorry, what's the question? Sorry.
So the feed for the candidates that you showed that had that kind of like different videos and things like that. I'm just thinking from a recruiter's perspective, if I'm looking at a candidate profile, I just want the facts and figures, just straight up. So how would you kind of deal with that?
So the point of our profile, so recruiters will be looking at the user profiles, which we mainly want them to focus on their portfolio, which they will put in like as a link, and their content, because we don't want recruiters to judge users based on their CV, like their background, their education, experience. We want them to see what the candidates actually are capable of doing through their videos. So we encourage candidates to create content based on quests, which basically allows them to display how they problem solve, the way they work, their work ethics, and it allows companies to see if their work ethic and their method of working matches with their company.
Yeah, can I just add to that? Definitely, recruiters can save their time. We don't want to waste anyone's time. We want recruiters to issue quests that has specifically the take-home assignment or skill they're trying to check. And we want users to submit for that. So you can have a ready portfolio of submissions from diverse candidates just by issuing a quest.
One thing that concerns me in what you showed was the AI-generated first message to recruiters. I know that I get a lot of LinkedIn messages that are automated. I try and use the emoji trick to catch them out. For those of you who don't know, put an emoji at the start of your name and a space. Will help you out. But then I wondered, maybe if you could just talk to that a bit more.
So the AI generated message is an option for people. For example, some people have very hard time just sending the very first message out, and this AI tool is basically just to push the conversation forward. So it's auto-generated, but you can edit the message before it sends. We just didn't show it because of the lack of screens and everything. Yeah.
Do I, as a recruiter, know that they've used the AI thing?
In the app, it doesn't say. We did not think of that, actually. But that's a really good point. And I feel we can make it more transparent and say that the message was generated by AI. But at the end of the day, when you accept the call as a recruiter, that candidate will have to talk to you in person anyway. They can't use an AI to talk to you.
Sorry, just one question, last question from me. Regarding like the profiles and everything, if I'm a tech candidate, what is the different, like, how can I make sure that an employer would see me and see that I'm a good coder or something via the profiles?
Sorry, there was some reverb. Will you please repeat the last part
Sorry.
of the
So
question?
just with the platform and so on, and regarding like the theme around tech hiring, if I'm like a developer looking to get a new role, how do the profiles help me as a developer sort of showcase that to an employer, and how would an employer know that I'm a very good coder?
Yeah, definitely. Do you mind if I take this?
So everyone.
Oh my god. Oh, sure. Sorry. So you're asking how a candidate can show their skills through their profiles.
Yeah, like their technical skills.
Yeah,
and how, like, on the flip side, then how the employer would have that verified. Like, because it seems like that's what you're trying to make it more engaging on both sides.
Yeah, definitely, Jess. So essentially, the developer can demo their project, and obviously they can link to their GitHub repository to show that all the commits were made by them, if that's a concern from the recruiter side. But ultimately, we're making short, catchy videos for recruiters to really pitch, candidates to really pitch their project to recruiters, not just for Quest, but also any recruiter that might be looking through the app, just browsing and might find their project, and that might lead to a job opportunity down the line. As someone said earlier in the panel talk, you never know who's watching. I was really hoping you'd ask me about money.
I felt like I couldn't ask that again, but give me your business model.
Thanks so much for that question, Jess. So as everyone knows, compute costs money. AI compute costs a lot of money, and we have a lot of AI-powered features in our app. So what we're going to do is 3 different ways to generate revenue so we can afford all of these people using our product. So we have the freemium model for candidates like us. It's free. For recruiters, you have to pay, I'm sorry. And that will operate on a subscription model. Each time a recruiter wants to collect a bunch of projects by issuing a quest, they have to pay a flat fee to us to promote it for a limited time. We will also have to partner with amazing companies like Showcode to promote events, to promote other companies' recruitment events. And lastly, we will offer premium AI tools in the future as we scale our product that might help with mock interviews or expert CV generation or CV reviews. So that's how we hope to get money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you can have a quick 5-minute rest break if you need the bathroom to grab a drink or anything. And when you come back, we'll be introducing EcoNode. Thank you, everybody. I hope that break helped you take a nice little rest. So if everyone could take their seats, we are going to be moving on to the theme by our host, CodeNode. So the theme was help CodeNode meet their ESG goals and reduce environmental impact using smart building technologies. The team that has been taken through to the final for this is EcoNode, and I would like to welcome them to the stage. Do you have any audio? No, we don't. Perfect.
Where's Layla? Oh, okay. Are you staying here? Or? You standing? Sorry, there. I'm not standing with you. Is it on?
Hi there. This is our team. My name is Elena.
My name's Kobe.
Layla.
Fikun, Bewaji.
So we decided to help CodeNode meet their ESG goals by reducing environmental impact using smart building technologies. As you can see, we had a lot of questions when we started off thinking about the main problem. Some of them were around what they were main blockers, current solutions, what success means for them, and what are their goals. We decided to have an interview with Thomas and Pauline and identify their main problems as no visibility over consumption measurements or reducing and controlling consumptions by event and constrained by the budget. Also, as a user, their needs were around support environmental reporting for the iOS, and then in incentivizing events by space users and vendors to align to their carbon goals.
So we based our solution based on the interview that we did because it was important that whatever we came up with was going to benefit them essentially. So we had 5 phases for our solution. It was measure, monitor, control, report, and reduce carbon, which is ultimately the aim. And this would be a cyclical process. Okay, so the first part of the process, as you can see here, is kind of drawing up your building. So this is the CodeNode space. You can see you've got space bar, shift, and all of that, those lovely rooms. And here you would input what you have. So it's almost like an audit when you're setting up. So you'd be typing in what electrical devices you have, such as projectors, speakers, so that we could actually measure what the usage is. And that was one of the problems that came up. And also identify where we could put smart meters to further get accurate data. So the second part was how do we collaborate with event partners such as Showcode to make sure that they are aligned with CodeNode's ESG goals. What we decided to do was come up with a carbon budget. So it's almost like a cost budget, but with carbon. So we'd ask the event before they were going to host, what was the event duration, how many attendees, and then based on that, we'd give them a carbon budget. And then when they typed in more things such as what food they were going to use and what kind of cups, that would take away from their budget. So ultimately, the responsibility is upon the event partner to make sure that they're holding a sustainable event. And we'd also incentivize them to try and not spend all of it and give them incentives for having leftover carbon, essentially. Pass on to Leila.
So once the event has filled in the form, it will put it in the events section at the bottom here where CodeNode can overview the events that are coming up. It also, you can see their baseline usage or some of the resources. Sorry, wrong way. And then if you click on in the building bit, you can click on the individual room and you can see the individual uses for that room. And then you can also see the individual uses for a resource, so for water, for example. And it would also give you some suggestions as to how to reduce this usage. And then once you click on it, it will give a prediction of how much you can reduce your usage by and how much the solution will cost.
So basically, we're going to be using data, but we are not going to be using data that's available. We're going to be using the smart meters to collect our data and the survey. And this data will be stored in any of the cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. And we would also be using environmental data APIs to manipulate our data, and then we'll also be converting the different usages like kilowatts to the unit for measuring the carbon. And then we will also have like a dashboard which will be done on Tableau, Power BI, and then we also have the floor plan where we can look at what rooms are actually using a lot of resources.
And in the future, we're going to use artificial intelligence for predictive maintenance and air quality optimization of our product. And we're also going to use Internet of Things, and that's going to be integrated with smart grid. So that could help us optimize energy usage and also know the peak nodes and off-peak nodes of each building. We'll also use augmented reality to provide real-time guidance of how to maintain our buildings. So we're going to implement that into devices and digital, because we put digital data into different products as well. And we'll also use blockchain technology to enable peer-to-peer energy tradings between buildings or within local energy communities. And we're also going to look at the overall life cycle analysis of basically the carbon impact. And because we know London has a 2030 net zero carbon plan, so obviously we're trying to make our products more accessible to everybody else. So Code Node will sell it to everybody, basically.
Well done, guys. Well, seeing that I got told off for not asking this question, how are you going to take this to market and make money?
So yeah, so it'll be a platform that you would pay a monthly subscription fee for, and depending on the level, the tier that you pay for, you'll get different features. So for example, you could have more rooms than the basic level. So the bigger your building, the more, the higher tier you would need. And then there are more features as well. So you could have, it could generate a roadmap for you, so you can build a strategy plan for it. And then yes, there'll be some more features.
Also to piggyback off of that, I believe that Showcode is a part of a parent company. So basically Code Node is a part of a parent company, So basically when it's successful, because we've done the futuristic idea, and then we've done the one that they can do with limited resources, which is just data collection, installing smart meters and all. When it's successful with them, they can take it higher to all the subsidiaries of their parent company, and then they can probably start a business with it and then start giving the service to other people and doing that.
Nice, land and expand. Love that approach. Anyone else? No, they understood it. Oh, cool. That's fine. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
So we will be now moving on to the next theme, which is by our partner Cisco, and it is breaking barriers and building bridges, empowering accessibility and inclusion through innovation. I would like to welcome to the stage Aura.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. We are Team Aura, and we take the guesswork out of going out. This is our lovely team, and also our mascot, Athena. She's been accompanying us during the whole process. Let me ask a question to you. Have you ever been to a coffee shop and tried to have a conversation with a friend and couldn't because the background noise was too loud? Yeah? So this happened to me as well. And it was unpleasant. This coming from someone who is neurotypical, but imagine how tough would it be for someone who has a neurological condition, right? And this brings us to our user problem. Our target users need help with understanding understanding if a venue is accessible for their needs, be it physical, neurological, or even ambience related. I'll pass it to Sidra.
So here's our solution, Aura. Now, what is Aura? Aura reduces the challenges that users might face when accessing venues for their needs, as Julie mentioned, physical, neurological, even ambience preferences. And the user can actually be confident in choosing these venues because they are based on accessibility ratings, which are done for the community, by the community. And I'll pass it over to Tian.
So building from Ju's initial idea, we brainstormed which sort of users and locations we would consider. And then building on from this, we used Miro to narrow down our idea. And for the project management, we used Trello. Now passing on to Natasha to go through our demo.
Great, I'll just do a quick run through of some of these wireframes. So to start off with, this is the sign up process and search option. Users can select multiple groups that they're part of or multiple needs that they have, which makes it really personalized. Then they can search for different venues and also filter by specific things like wheelchair access, noise levels, and the like. And then the results page shows you either in a map or a list view for your local area, a preview of the venue, and then a more detailed about page and a place where you can navigate to that location and also leave a review and submit photos, for example, showing an accessible parking space. And yeah, I'll pass it on to Sidra.
Amazing. So the main thing we wanted to know is, did we hit the brief? So the Cisco brief is shown above, and we wanted to break it down into breaking barriers and empowering accessibility. Now, we believe we've broken barriers because the main barrier here was that a user might not have a good experience based on the venue. So for people who have accessibility issues leaving their house, we want to kind of make that not a stressful situation by trying to eliminate that venue barrier. And on top of empowering accessibility, now the users have the power to submit their reviews and validate that actual information. And the communities can actually trust that those fellow reviews have the shared experiences that they also experience, which helps to build trust and confidence. Now, in terms of feasibility, we try to understand and address the following barriers. One, how do we actually keep the venue and business data up to date? This is something that we grappled with. Should we ask the businesses to sign up and keep on, relaying that information? But ultimately, we decided it was best for user-generated reviews to actually drive that information and make it relevant and as up to date as possible. And this also allows the reviews to remain authentic because they're created, again, for the community and by the community. And we will ensure that they're updated every 24 hours so it's as recent as possible. If a company changes their accessibility needs, it's actually based on the last 24 hours of reviews. Secondly, how can we scale our app? So we'll start off as a proof of concept in central London due to its dense and diverse population, and gradually expand in more areas of London based off feedback in the community, and eventually expand into events as well. And lastly, how do we sustain and grow our community? Marketing is going to become extremely important, the likes of TikTok, Instagram, disabilities, neurological disorders, they affect all ages, all groups, so we want to be as wide as possible. Encourage our users to provide reviews with incentivized points, which turn into vouchers, supported by potential retail partners, and continuously listen to user feedback.
So the future of Aura. We'll have verified reviewers. Think of these as mystery shoppers. These are community members who will validate the accessibility based on their lived experiences.
not only will this help the users, it will also help the companies by affiliating with organizations such as the National Autistic Society. Also, we'll have an integration with Google Maps to increase accessibility and reduce the touch points to users to find accessible solutions. And lastly, create an Aura community to create a safe discussion space and host community events. Thank you for listening.
Great presentation. I was wondering if you could talk more to the incentivization of writing reviews, obviously, because it sounds like you want really recent reviews and you want a lot of them in order to, make the platform work.
Yeah. So
So if you could just talk to more.
The 24 hours thing that might be adjusted depending on R&D, like 48 hours, 72 perhaps. But we want to give the users something for their time. Every time you see something, you're like, oh, another review. So we did want to actually monetize that in the sentiment of turning into retail vouchers based on future feedback. If the user finds out, this is actually useful for me, we want the user to actually feed back to us what actually is useful. Should we give you cash in hand? That kind of thing. So it's all up to like that continuous R&D process. But we did want to give them something for their time, because I'm not going to send a review unless I'm getting something back.
And where is that money going to come from?
Sorry?
You said you're going to give like the people that put the reviews in money. Where's the money coming from?
For the points, the incentivized points, if there's retail partners, the businesses, it's an opportunity for them to show that they are accessible for different groups. So it's an incentive for them to market to these groups. So that's why they might want to provide some vouchers. In terms of other funding, this is really a tech for good product, so we wouldn't want to commercialize it in a traditional sense. We would look for seed funding and grants, and maybe, for example, like we said, partnering with the National Autism Society, that they would want to put their award on it. It's something that they'd want to market to their users, so they might want to put some funding towards it as well. Any other questions? No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to welcome to the stage Freewheeling. Sorry, too many hands. There you go, one for you. I'll be roughly in the middle, and I'll do a half time in a 1 minute.
Hiya. That's me. Different hair, possibly slightly less good, but that's me. That's me about a year ago. And this little bundle of snuggliness is my Grandma Jane. And that's Peggy the dog showing you her bum, but she's not relevant to this story. That's Grandma Jane. She brought me up, and as a result, as a sort of direct transaction, if you will, a couple of years ago, I became her carer. She's 91. She looks suspiciously much younger, but she's 91. And as such, I spend quite a lot of time pushing that chair round the streets of London. Now, London is an incredible city. I'm sure we'll all agree. And part of its charm is its nooks and crannies, its patchwork pavements, right? The fact that it's idiosyncratic, a little bit different. You don't know what you're going to get around every corner. Charming, and a complete nightmare. If you are in a chair
or pushing a chair, it makes traversing these streets really, really anxiety-inducing. Next slide, please. Next one. In the UK, there are approximately 1 million wheelchair users. Awareness is getting better, but 28% of disabled adults live in households without access to a car. Now, there are resources in place. We haven't got to the resources yet. There are resources in place, but the anxiety is still there. As we see, we've got a quote here that we got from BBC News, which is that days out are exhausting. I need to plan exactly where I'm going and keep focused the whole time. Now, if you or I, anyone with full functionality in their legs, leaves the house, we open up City Mapper and off we go, right? That's freedom. We're not our 70-year-old dads. We don't spend half an hour with the A to Z planning our route and trying to make sure that we're going to get there in time for tea. People in chairs deserve the same. They deserve to be able to go out and have the freedom to enjoy and embrace their city without feeling worried about getting stuck, being in the way, getting hurt. There are options out there, but they're not good enough, right? Google Maps is an example. Now, Google Maps tells you how you can get around by public transport if you're in a chair. There's an app option. It's available in London, but it doesn't help you with the routes. When you are in a chair, when you are on the streets, it doesn't help you with routes. What we wanted to create is something where all of these things are in one place in a user-friendly format. So this is the user journey. You enter your location, you enter your destination, you choose a route, and you follow the directions. Next. This is a mock-up of what our app would look like. Next. And then we get onto the functionality. It's a mobile app. It's easy to access. Most of what I showed you before, if not all of, most of what I showed you before, are websites. They're not apps. They're not easy to use when you're out and about. In addition to this, it's a background app. It will continue to run when the phone is locked or in between apps. I'm sure we all have experience of trying to juggle a coffee and a bag and your phone first thing in the morning. Imagine doing that, but you're also trying to use your hands to literally get around the city. Users select the mode between powered and manual wheelchairs, and there's also the option to save routes that really worked for you. Next. They give you exact directions, the most accessible route. Next. They take into account all of the above. Gradient, establish routes using open source data. They continuously update and use the following resources. And they also take user feedback. So after each route, you're asked to rate your route and add more details about specific hazards and things like that along the way.
So 167,000 is estimated number of wheelchair users in London that could benefit from accessible road planning. And also 162 billion is the estimated economic value of unpaid care in England.
Our future product map is hopefully integration with TfL accessibility tools, covering other UK cities that aren't London, making the app open source and creating a community of route mappers, and that it's an app ultimately to be used anywhere in the world. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. It put Connor back in his place. No, thank you, guys. That really resonates with, resonates with me. That's really, really great idea. In terms of the platform itself, just the go-to-market plan, because obviously I know you're saying there's obviously a lot of people in wheelchairs and so on. Just keen to get a better understanding of that.
Can you break that down a bit more for me?
So in terms of, so you got the app, you've launched it, how are you going to get people using it? How are you going to build it out from there?
I think one thing we were thinking about when we were looking at it was taking the example of Waze. for instance, if I don't know who's a driver, Waze is an incredible is an incredible tool for mapping. It's also an incredible tool for airing your frustrations. And as a driver, stopping at a red light and being able to be like, that's there. And it both is bringing something back into the community, right? But it's also a way of kind of venting about something that you are finding difficult. So I think that's part of it. We would have incentives for sending reviews. So the idea is that there will probably be a very small monthly subscription. I was just checking there wasn't anything on the screen there. It will probably be a very small monthly subscription. We have a greater tendency to buy into things that we are putting some money into. And we would have something like, for instance, if you leave 10 reviews in a month, then you get the next month free. Yeah.
So my question just off that is, you said that you're going to have a small subscription. How would you compete with existing competitors? Because Google can just come tomorrow and decide to add that to the Google Maps feature. So where would that leave you guys?
That'd be lovely. They can buy us. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the point of this is that it is centralized and that it is currently bringing together something that a lot of other apps are doing, but in much less convincing and less user-friendly ways, and where you would have to sit down and spend time and effort in planning that. I think one of the major selling points is the open source nature of this and the community nature as well. It's made specifically for wheelchair users. And rather than looking at Google Maps and it having a mixture of like, Mike says this is a nice view, so-and-so says you can get a great coffee here, it's actually very specifically for accessibility. And it's also written by people who have the same concerns as you.
Yeah, I think this is great. One of my questions is, do you plan to do any like partnering with government bodies or anything? For example, like say there's actually no accessible route between Moorgate and the Barbican. I can't remember what was on the screen.
Chosen on purpose. Really hard. Yeah.
Yeah. What if there is no accessible route? Is it just as a user, I'm just kind of told like, okay, I can't get there, or is it going to feed that back to like TfL or something to say that there's no accessible route? Like, what's?
Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it. And I think it's data that could be really, really helpful, and a platform that could be used for that. One of our kind of future plans is to start using TfL and bringing them in, because obviously they already have. It's brilliant if you look on Citymapper or whatever. They've got incredible features for deciding which stations are user-friendly, where, like which bus stops have got like particularly high canvas and all this kind of stuff. So the idea is very much not to try and kind of continually exist in a bubble, but to bring in other platforms that people already use and are already really helpful.
Does it stop at wheelchairs?
Does it what?
Does it stop at wheelchairs?
Does it stop at wheelchairs? No, not necessarily. So this was also part of it, was you can put in, for instance, what kind of mobility issue you have. We sort of went for push wheelchairs because they are the biggest nightmare, some might say, for getting up and down curbs and down small streets and stuff like that. Obviously, if you have like motor-powered wheelchairs, you can put that in. They can, one of our team members, Viv, her mum is in a motor-powered wheelchair, and they can take on tank-worthy kind of streets. So that obviously makes a difference as well. So I think it's for sort of all mobility problems. There was also a suggestion that it might be quite useful for people who are visually impaired, so who maybe use a stick, so the blind, in order to walk. Obviously, that's incredibly helpful, but there are streets that are easier and harder to make your way down, so that might also be useful. Thanks.
Next, I would like to welcome to the stage Silva.
Hi, we're Team Silver, and today we're introducing our phone bot for tech support for the elderly. I'd like to just start by saying I have been testing this product so hard that I've lost my voice. But yeah, I will do my best. So yeah, if we can move to the next slide. So my name is Katrina.
I'm Miyuki.
And I'm Mukoso.
Okay, so our approach to the Cisco challenge was to target a vulnerable group of over 11 million people in the UK. And that's elderly people. So we all have grandparents, and we're probably familiar with the fact that they really struggle with technology. And on top of that, a lot of them have vision impairments. So 9% of seniors over the age of 75 have severe visual impairments, and 23 indicate that they have a physical health condition that makes reading difficult or challenging.
So I believe as a young person, many of you has experience of being the techie person at home, like being asked any technical question by all the senior relatives. So that's why the problem statement we are trying to tackle is to like narrow the gap between the digital divide for the elderly people. And the benefits of them getting online is to like improve the accessibility and get in touch with grandparents, like grandson, grandchildren, and to contact and combat the loneliness.
Okay, so we looked at what is preventing elderly people from getting online, and we found that some of that, just like the we can see, from the survey, that some of them feel very embarrassed because, their thinking has been slowed down. So, and they keep asking questions and they feel embarrassed. And then some of them, over time developed tech anxiety because they feel it's too complicated. So, they feel embarrassed and they think it's too complicated for them to use. So that way they don't want to, do anything tech.
Yeah, so let's meet our solution, Silver. So you don't have to have any iPhone or Android. You can even call on landline, and you just have to dial that number, and you'll get to Silver, our chatbot, and then like it's a voice bot, yeah, and then you'll be able to get the help you need.
Okay, so why the name Silver? In the course of our research, we stumbled on a concept called the silver economy, and this was trying to sell products and services to people aged 65 and over, and boom, we took the name Silver.
Okay, so how does the tech work? I'm going to try and speed through this because I really want to show you guys the live demo. But basically, we have a backend server in Node.js. We used Twilio for the generating the phone number and the voice recognition and the transcription. We used OpenAI API to generate a bot response, and then Google Nero 2a converts a text response to natural sounding speech, and then Twilio plays the thing. But I'm just going to show you guys a live demo because that's way more interesting. So I'm going to call the chatbot right now. And hopefully this works, and then otherwise we'll play you the video, but it's more fun if we show this. And I'm just going to also say you're going to hear like a horrible thing at the beginning telling me that I have a free trial, but just ignore that bit.
You have a trial account.
Can you guys hear that?
You can remove this message at any time by upgrading to a full account. Press any key to execute your code.
Hi there, I'm Silva, a voice-based assistant who's here to help you with any tech-related issues. How can I help you today?
Hi, Silva. I'm having some issues with my laptop.
Hi there, what can I help you with today?
I'm not really sure what's happened. I'm trying to watch YouTube, but I just see a blank screen. I think my grandsons have done something with the Wi-Fi.
I understand that you're trying to watch YouTube, but you're seeing a blank 3. Have you tried restarting?
Okay, and then I'm going to show you guys what happens when you call back. So imagine maybe you got disconnected or something. Let's see what happens if you call back. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm very aware.
Press any key to execute your code.
Welcome back. It's great to hear from you again. Is there anything I can help you with regarding the YouTube issue?
So you can call back and you can start right where you started. And that's great because, you don't get the frustration of having to start all over again. And yeah, so this works on any phone. It's not just my phone. You can use it yourself. Maybe you don't test it now because we just did the live demo. But yeah, this works with anyone's phone.
Yeah, and for the impact by Silver, it's mainly to bridge the digital divide, and it's for maintaining the inclusivity and also accessibility.
Okay, so I'll talk about the business value. So it's affordable. You can see that you don't need iPhone 14 or the next iPhone. The entry is very simple. Just have a phone. And then it's scalable. And because as we get feedback from users, we can, add more features to, what, the feedback we get from the users. And then she's going to talk about the feasibility. And then we're talking about 11 million people, just like Katrina said. So, I mean, we looked at the fact that part of I know that she's going to ask me that question about money. So let's get right into the money part. Okay. Okay, so when she asks the question, I'll answer.
Thank you.
Well done. I have to say, I've panelled on a few of these, and I've never had someone do a live demo like that. Congratulations.
Really
that was
stressful.
I think I can confidently say all of the judges were pretty wowed by that bit. Do you want to continue your last slide?
Okay, so because we said the entry is very simple, it's affordable, so a lot of people, even though we've seen during our research, we found that there were other bots already, voice, chat, but we tried to carve a niche, and the niche is we want to breach that barrier, which is the digital divide. So even though there are other chats out there, other bots out there, ours is to make sure that if someone elderly or if the seniors need help with tech, that's what they is going to, and they can easily enter. It's not going to cost so much. And then we also looked at CSR for companies. That's part of, instead of putting money elsewhere, they can actually buy into that as their CSR. And then we also looked at the government. We're talking about seniors now, to make the latter part of their life comfortable. Government can actually buy into this. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to add a quick thing to that about what you said about the fact that there's other bots out there. We researched this. We couldn't find a phone bot available. Obviously everyone's heard of ChatGPT, but your grandma's not going to log on to ChatGPT, is she? But if, she just needs to call a number, then that would be something a lot more feasible. So that's what we were trying to do.
And we feel like chatbots are just like looking at screen, and like old people always have vision impairment, so we want to do phone calls instead of looking at screen. And we've also broke down the price cost, and it costs around £0.03 per month if a person, like an elderly, call 3 times a week for 10 minutes each time. So it's not very expensive cost, and if we need to support the project, we will ask for government support or subsidy.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm going to ask you this one.
Yeah, wow, live demo, great. This is really cool. One of my questions is personally, I get really frustrated if I'm talking to a chatbot. I'm the person who's like, please, can I speak to a human, please?
Yeah.
I know you're a chatbot. So how do you think elderly people will feel about engaging with a chatbot? I can imagine they might start to get frustrated if they're not feeling like it's an actual person on the other end.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did include this in the slides for future work, but we didn't have time to get to it. But our plan for this was to include emotion recognition in basically the recording of your voice. And we had a slide which showed different things that we could use to do that. But basically the idea is that if it senses frustration, then it can redirect you. And we did sort of try to implement that, where if the user is, and it does work sometimes, not always, where if the user is frustrated, it does say, would you like me to redirect you to a human to help you out? Obviously there isn't a human at the moment, but the idea is that could be implemented quite easily. And then the other thing to note is that, of course, a human interaction is always better, but that's not always possible. And sometimes this might be the only thing accessible to elderly people, but we think that this is definitely better than nothing, and it's a step in the right direction, because once they maybe know how to set up their Wi-Fi or they know how to do other stuff, then that's the first step to combating loneliness, as we said in our slides.
I really enjoyed seeing how the tech worked. Question around the OpenAI piece. Obviously, lots of models available. You went for DaVinci, which is slightly more expensive. I wondered why.
Yeah, I mean, we tested different ones out. We tested out GPT 3.5 Turbo as well. We just found that this one had the best performance. And I think because elderly people are a vulnerable group, and also because, you know, they might already be so frustrated with not being able to use tech. We really wanted to make sure that it's providing the best answers. Like, yes, it might be a little bit more expensive, but we don't want to risk, you know, the elderly person getting really annoyed at the answers or it being repetitive. But in future work, and again, this was in a slide that we didn't get to, it would be a lot better to not use ChatGPT or even DaVinci, but, you know, train something from scratch that is specifically built for elderly people and tech support. Obviously, we didn't have time to do something like this, but that would also definitely counter any issues with sort of vulnerable people and ChatGPT's hallucinations or anything like that.
Yeah, and sorry. In addition, we also think that any other languages could be included in the future, and also because of the time limit, we didn't get to like develop the whole machine learning model. And if that's allowed in the future, we could like build a database of the most commonly asked tech questions, so that the answers will be more accurate and the response time will be faster.
I thought it was fast enough, to be honest.
We did try doing different things. We found that this was the fastest way, just using the Twilio API. We tried running it through Google speech-to-text recognition, which is like a little bit slower, but it was better at recognizing the voice. But we found that actually ChatGPT could deal with typos in the transcription pretty well, so it was okay.
Sorry, does Twilio give you text out of voice without you having to do anything? Do you get that?
Yeah, so Twilio, so how it works is Twilio transcribes, that gets passed to OpenAI API, which responds, and then we use Google Neural Wave to work to generate the voice out.
Okay, Connor's giving me the eyes now. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we are on to our last team and project of the day. I know it's been a long couple of days. Can we give a big, warm round welcome to Communitix?
Hi, everyone. We're Team TBD. My name is Gabia.
I'm Alia.
Sandra. I'm Bonnie. I'm Ella.
And today we're presenting to you Communitix, your ticket to belonging. So in the UK, there are over 200,000 refugees coming from countries like Afghanistan, Sudan, and Ukraine. They often don't speak English and they do feel very isolated in a foreign environment with limited funds for activities to feel a sense of belonging and experience the new culture. Our aim is to provide a platform for social integration by collating event information and a place, as well as a place, Our aim is to promote social integration by collating event information in one place, as well as providing free tickets for concerts, theaters, and other events across London in a way which is accessible to all refugees of all ages and all levels of digital literacy.
Right, so based on the stats for this hackathon, we tried to form 3 different user personas that comprises of 3 individuals that comes from different background and different age group and also different relationships. So based on the stats, like a common ground of like the pain points that they all face is language barriers and also digital literacy. So this creates a lot of difficulties for the users that includes like finding employment, but what we like to focus on is the social aspect, which is they find difficulties finding activities that they enjoy.
So our solution, we really take our time to
try to understand the needs and the possibilities of the people that we're trying to help. And during our ideation and also during our discovery, we focus on these people, who they are and what is exactly that they need. It's very tempting as a developer to always make an app, like an app as a solution for everything, but we try to think like, what is exactly that the user needs, and steer away from that desire of build like something edgy or something that breaks the barriers of tech, right? I think sometimes the solution is simple, and in our case, we were thinking about something that is accessible, that in some places is already there. It's just like make improvement to that, and for example, have interactive community boards that are available in libraries and community centers that people with certain needs are already attending, and we can find some refugees already going, and it's just adding some top of that to facilitate the possibility, for example, of these people to access events within their communities to improve their quality of life, basically, and how they are able to blend into their communities. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous.
So here's a demo of our community digital board. So the user is presented with this introductory page where they have the choice of their language, as well as voice activation if that's necessary. And they get a little bit of a sampling of some of the events that they could participate in, as well as the categories that they can choose from. And so we're just going to say they chose theater. They're presented with a calendar and times and a very easy interface. Then here they get the options of the different shows that are going on. So this particular user really likes Matilda, so she chose Matilda, shows the show time, and as well as the free tickets. And then it was important to us to have a machine that printed the tickets on the spot, so in case they don't have a phone or access to tickets any other way. So just showing our user journey from discovery up until the booking. And then the prototype, as well as the accessibility details that we addressed, including language and large fonts and simple interface.
So yeah, Sandra touched upon, it's primarily hardware, but we also have a software option because in some libraries these boards already exist, and we'll be getting the event data via API. So why would venues provide free tickets? So most organizations nowadays have a corporate social responsibility policy. So they want to do good and they want people to know that they're doing good. So we're simply putting in place a platform to facilitate this. And secondly, venues have free seats and they want to fill them. What impact will our solution have? So refugees are more likely to face mental health issues. So our platform will help alleviate this by building community and helping them foster a sense of belonging. It will help them address like language gaps. We'll partner with like organizations that run courses. How feasible is it? So yeah, it's cost effective. As we said, like devices exist in many places already. The data is already there. The technology is simple. And yeah, it's a straightforward solution.
So my question, yeah, I can see like the corporate social responsibility side. So in terms of that, so would the funding come from the companies looking to do social good? Is that how you're looking to fund the platform, or just good to get an idea about that?
So yeah, that's one option. Another option that we were exploring is governments have, the government provides grants to improve social inclusion. So that would be another option.
And also, like in libraries and like community centers, these facilities already exist. So it's a matter of just adding one additional feature, which I'm pretty sure councils would be more than happy because it will support their local community.
How are you identifying those that are worthy of the free tickets? I don't know how to phrase that better. Sorry.
So yeah, we did discuss this, and it's really hard because there are so many people that are in need and can't afford things like this. We decided to focus on refugees in this instance. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Even if it's just refugees, how are you identifying those refugees?
Yeah, so we're defining like refugee someone who has like their legal status, and if you're a refugee, you'll have a document from the government. So.
Yeah, and on top of that, we discuss about the possibility to provide with login details, so they can log in into the system, and they will access this part of the app.
Just on that, okay, so the reason why you're printing the tickets is because they might not have like a phone or email, so then how would they have how will you get the login details to them?
Because that would be embedded into the app itself, and they could just use them. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, there'd be a login screen. We just didn't provide it in the demo, but
how would they get the login details?
So I think with the librarian I think security would definitely be an utmost priority. So either with the librarian or some kind of system that scans the ID into the system, but only when they create the account. It's not something that we want to ask of them each time they use the platform.
One last thing, and how would you kind of manage like that kind of information, like data?
Yeah, thanks for the question. We didn't really get any deeper into that, but we had that concern as well in terms of data privacy and how we can handle that information responsibly. But yeah, we didn't really navigate deeper into that. But thanks for the question.
Sorry, can I just add? In a way, it would be just like having a library account with your details. And one thing we also like to emphasize, all the community could have access to the boards, so it wouldn't be just for the refugees, but the local community could only access the local community events, not the free theater or like musical tickets, whereas like refugees would have to make an account for the librarian, and if you get a library card, for example, you could just scan it on the machine, and it would take you to the interface.
And we also did consider other like vulnerable groups, because obviously when we're making something like this, we want to avoid exclusion, because there are other groups that are also like low-income groups and things like that. But that's something that we would consider in the future on making it more accessible and avoiding exclusion. But to start off, like this is the vulnerable group that we've decided to go on with.
Thank you to all of our teams that have not only presented today, but participated in the hack. We're going to take a quick 10 minutes to give our judges some time to deliberate, and then we'll be announcing who our winners are. So stay tuned. Just want to double check. Should we do podium positions first? 10 minutes of pulling something together.
And they've all stayed till the end.
Yeah.
It's just nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good sports.
I mean, like previous winners have been a bit shit though, haven't they?
Yeah. It's just that vibe up front. Do we give feedback or is it just go?
It automatically, yeah. So the time is here. If everyone could please take a seat. So I just want to start off by saying again, how bloody incredible you've all been. Can I get a round of applause for all of you? I would like to say thank you to our incredible partners for providing incredible themes, amazing giveaways, and hopefully some opportunities for you all to make moves in tech. I'd like to say thank you to the rest of the Showcode team who have helped put all this event together and hopefully made an amazing experience for you guys. And lastly, just again, you lot are bloody incredible. So we're going to start off with our theme prizes, and I would like to welcome Chadney from Cisco to the stage to come and announce the Cisco theme winner.
Hi everyone, and huge congratulations also from the Cisco team. You've all done a brilliant job. I'm here to announce the winner for the Cisco prize, which is the Bang & Olufsen headphones. It was a really hard decision, but without making you wait too much longer, the team we're awarding it to is Aura. Come up and we'll get a picture. We'll have to take your details to send you the thing later on, but we'll get a picture. Do you guys want to come up as well for the picture? We'll do a Cisco picture with the winners.
So when we announce the winners, we're going to ask all of you to come up, get some pictures, make sure you're all happy. If you want, you can do a speech because, you know, why not? It's that point in your career, you've got to get used to that presentation, making waves, moves, commanding the room. For all of our winners, if you could please stick around until the end of the presentation, come over to me and I will take your details to make sure we can get all of your prizes delivered to you. So just a quick reminder, if you win, please stay around to the end. Come and find me so I can take your details so you can get your wonderful prizes. If not, I'll have them. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Next, I would like to welcome Paulina to the stage from CodeNode.
Hey everyone, well done. It was quite amazing, quite impressive. It's the third time we do that, and every time the ideas are just mind-blowing. Obviously, massive well done to the only team that actually chose our theme today. So EcoNode, well done. I was really impressed. I think we're going to bring that up to Trifork and see how we can implement all that, and I'll let you know how it goes. Thank you, well done.
Would EcoNode like to come up for a picture? This is usually an award ceremony when they like cut to the adverts or something. But lucky enough, you get to see these amazing people instead. Give them another round of applause. So I have the honor of announcing who has won our Showcode theme prize, and I would like to welcome to the stage Talent Tap. show cope with.
We should get you in the middle.
No, I'm not. You guys are the important people.
Smile, guys.
We're having.
Do you want to just take one of your phones?
At the end.
A tech company having tech malfunctions.
Is there a number we can call?
Amazing. Well done.
Just wanted to announce it's Jaya's birthday. Thank you for the birthday luck, Jaya.
Happy birthday to ya. You left me hanging. Oh. Right, so we're on to our podium spots. Can I have a little bang on the tables? Ooh, oh, yeah. Right, so in third place, we have Love is Blind. I feel like they should be here if anyone's watching, and I should have like the whole like lifting up. Let me just get the eye drops. Hold up. Oh. Congratulations, guys. £1,000. Wait. It is now. Yeah. In second place, we have the amazing Freewheeling. Congratulations, guys. No, I'm not getting this one. You guys are the team. Get in the middle. Oh, it's only taken 2 days and I finally don't have to do the cues. You're just doing it. It's incredible. Learning at a hackathon. So, for our first place position, we have the incredible Silver. You should be so proud. Would you guys like to say something?
Yeah. Hi. I just want to say thank you so much. This has been an amazing experience. We actually all met here. I didn't have a team on the first day, and I found these two. And this is also my first hackathon, and it's been an amazing experience. So thank you so much. I don't know if you guys understand.
I didn't know what to expect. I felt, okay, I got into tech late. I'm 46 years old. So I felt, I didn't have a chance. I have a lot of young people. These two were amazing. They didn't make me feel uncomfortable. They accommodated me, and they made me feel I have a lot to contribute. Coming from a business background, they let me do everything about business and all of that. And I couldn't ask for a better team. I can't believe this is happening. I'm so grateful.
First of all, well done and thank you from everybody. Like my team, and yeah, it's hard to believe that we're winning it. And I've met so many great people here, like at this venue and in Athena Hackathon. Like it's not my first Athena Hackathon; it's actually my third Athena Hackathon, and I've met so many amazing people here. So thank you so much.
Oh, I didn't even hack, and you got me. My heart is full. It's been an incredible weekend, everyone. And again, thank you for the time that you've taken to be part of our community at Showcode, your community at Showcode. And we hope to see you all again very soon at the next Athena meetup or hackathon. If you have any questions, you can come and grab any of us before we go. And for any of the winning teams, please come and find me in 5 minutes so I can take all of your details. And as I said, until next time, thank you. That's why you did. That's why you did.